Chapter
NK
681, Did So Fong fall ill? Ding. Memory unlocked +1. Ding. Three-dimensional awareness space, elementary. As the three-system prompts echoed, So Fong felt his eyes shine brightly, each gift pack name stirring eager anticipation. He drew a deep breath, prepared and commanded, "Open the soy sauce crafting experience gift pack." Ding. Soy sauce crafting experience pack transmitting inside. Instantly, the familiar sharp pain struck, countless knowledge rushed into his mind like a storm, engraving itself deeply. The feeling lasted 4 or 5 minutes before ending, and he sighed, organizing the new knowledge. From the gift name alone he had guessed it was all about soy sauce making methods, process, and cautions. Yet soybeans were needed, and he was unsure if they could be found on Huin Noyet Island. Perhaps it will be useful later. He muttered, then commanded again, "Use memory unlock +1. Ding. Memory unlocked +1. My reactions are faster now. He clenched his fist, swung lightly, the sensation was real, every body move followed the brain's order, memory strengthened so reaction power increased too. This feels quite good. He smiled, thinking if this continued he might become like a top student. He turned, gently brushing the strands of hair from the girl's forehead. "Open three-dimensional awareness space," he ordered. Ding. Three-dimensional awareness space transmitting inside. At once, it felt like a hammer smashed his skull, sparks flashed before his eyes, and he fainted instantly. Damn it! Those were his last words before collapsing. Next morning, bright sunlight poured in. Van Han was already awake, busy in the kitchen. No. So Fong frowned, opened his eyes, mouth dry and lips cracked. He licked them, glanced at the busy girl and checked his body. He had not expected last night's gift pack to knock him out. He lay quietly for a while, checked carefully, nothing abnormal except the lingering headache. He sat up, rubbed his temples, dizzy. "So Fong, you are awake, drink some water, your lips are parched." Van Han handed him a warm cup. "Okay." Glug glug. He drained it, body relaxing though head still heavy. "So Fong, what is wrong? You look unwell." She placed her hand on his forehead, frowning. "No fever, but why so pale?" "It is fine, only a little dizzy, soon I will be better." He squeezed her hand, reassuring. Maybe poor sleep caused bad spirits. He forced a smile. "I told you not to stay up late, but you never listen." She scolded, hands on hips. "It will not happen again," he promised. Who would believe that? She pinched his nose, playful yet stern. "Health matters most, you must not fall ill." "I know, you may supervise me." He smiled warmly. "I will not, rely on yourself." She huffed and walked off with the cup. Shortly after, she returned with honey water, gently saying, "Drink this, it will ease you." He drank it all, whether psychological or real, the dizziness eased greatly. "Rest more, I will call you when breakfast is ready." Relieved, she returned to the kitchen. "So Fong, what discomfort do you feel?" Lu Wai Thursday asked. "Nothing serious, just a little dizzy," he replied softly. "Dizzy? Could it be from eating too much game, parasites in the brain?" Lu Wai Mong widened her eyes. His mouth twitched. Was this a curse? "If you cannot speak properly, stay quiet." Lu Wai Thursday scolded her. "Hee, only joking." Lu Wai Mong shrank her neck, still laid her hand on his forehead, murmuring, "Temperature normal." "Want some more warm water?" Lu Wai Thursday asked gently, worry on her face. "No need, I drank already." He waved. "If dizzy, want me to massage your head?" Lu Wai Mong rolled up sleeves eagerly. No need, a short rest is fine." He chuckled, surprised. "It is fine, I will help, you will feel better." She sat beside him, fingers gently massaging his temples. Truly comfortable. He closed eyes in pleasure. He, I learned this from you. She grinned, recalling last night. Not bad, you grasped some essence. He praised. Much better. Now. He sighed in relief, clearly improved from earlier. Chapter 682, Planning the Future. I am just a bit dizzy, not paralyzed. So Fong smiled bitterly, then sat up with relief. He. Lu Waimong playfully stuck out her tongue. The four of them sat around the wooden table. Breakfast today was wild vegetable soup and kudzu starch. Both were quite light dishes. Dizziness cannot take too much oil. Drink this bowl of wild vegetable soup first. Van Han placed the bowl before So Fong, gently saying, though not as tasty as your cooking, the flavor should not be bad. Ho ho. So Fong smiled, took the clay bowl, sipped the hot soup, and chuckled. The flavor is just as before, still delicious. So Fong, how do you cook that wild vegetable soup? Lu Waimong curiously asked. Do you want to know? So Fong frowned. This was a tonic dish. Yes. Lu Waimong replied quickly, nodding like a chick pecking rice. Then one day I will teach you. So Fong laughed. For a tonic effect every herb, mushroom, and ingredient had strict measures, though the taste seemed similar the effect was vastly different. Good, we will talk when you are well. Lu Waimong nodded repeatedly. After more than half an hour, the four finished breakfast and set down their chopsticks. So Fong, after eating rest a while, then sleep again. When you wake up you will feel better. Van Han said seriously. Okay, I will listen to you. NK
So
Books.
Fong curved his lips. He had promised in the morning, so even if not tired he still had to lie down. Soon the girls pushed him onto the bed, covered with blankets and sleeping bag. Sleep now, we go grind millet.
Van Han tucked the quilt, then left.
So Fong turned his head to the wooden table, where the Lu sisters sat pounding grains with stones. Sleepiness covered him, his eyes closed, his breath steady. When So Fong opened his eyes again, the sky outside was gray, soon it would be dark.
Why did I fall asleep again?
He sat up, rubbed his temples, the dizziness was much less. He stepped down from the bed, looked outside, and smiled bitterly.
Another wasted day. Awake, how do you feel? Van Han and the Lu sisters entered. Not dizzy now.
So Fong smiled. He did not want to let them worry, nor could he sleep again after dinner, so he only said that.
Good then, you rest, I will make dinner.
Van Han wiped her hair with a towel, clearly just came from the pond.
What shall we eat tonight?
Lu Waimong played with her short hair, smiling.
You decide, I just wait to eat. So Fong frowned. Eating was always a struggle.
After more than half an hour, on the table was still a pot of wild vegetable soup, plus mushroom stew and stir-fried venison, all fragrant.
Tasty.
So Fong took a piece of venison into his mouth.
So Fong, what will we do tomorrow? Lu Waimong asked.
While chewing, So Fong answered.
Go find some chicken fat mushrooms. Did you not want to learn the soup?
The chicken fat mushrooms had long been eaten, he had not grown more, so only the forest had them.
Good, tomorrow I go with you. Lu Waimong nodded. Already searched around, will there be any left?
Lu Wai Thursday softly asked. Tomorrow we check upstream, near the thorn bushes, there should be chicken fat mushrooms. So Fong said, he had searched the camp surroundings, but not upstream.
All right. So Fong nodded.
At that time, upstream by a small stream, more than 3 hours from So Fong's camp, the Nan sisters were building fences.
Sister, is this tied tight enough? Nan Nu Not tied thorn branches to the frame.
Yes, 2 more layers will be safer.
Nan Tan Not checked under the firelight and nodded.
These thorn branches came from downstream, about 10 minutes away, where there was a big thicket. Seeing the fence only half done, Nan Nu Nok sighed. Sister, the branches are finished. Then leave it for today, tomorrow cut more. Nan Tan Nok clapped her hands. building half in one day was good.
Okay, I will cook dinner.
Nan Nunak washed her hands in the stream, then prepared the meat. We must store more, after the fence is done we can hunt.
Nan Tan. Nok said quietly. All right, then I cut a bit more.
Nan Nunak sliced more salted meat. Nantan Nok shook her head, then brought out fresh prey, knowing her sister would not waste salted meat. Inside, she prayed. This was the second move. If no prey here, maybe a third move was needed, something she did not want.
Sister, what are you thinking?
Nan Nunak asked, calling several times with no reply.
Nothing.
Nantan Nok shook her head.
Oh, okay. Nan Nunak pouted, stirring the pot of greens and meat. Nunak, do you feel tired of this life?
Nantan Nok asked.
No, with sister here, everything is fine. Nan Nunak answered naturally, dimples showing.
She smiled at her sister.
I feel this life is interesting. It is truly interesting. Nantan Nok smiled. Chapter 683, The Unlucky Lu Waimong.
Early in the morning, sunlight spread over Huin Noyet Island, birds chirped in the forest.
So Fong, breakfast is ready.
Van Han's voice came from upstairs.
Coming.
So Fong answered with a mouthful of charcoal powder.
Gulp gulp. He poured water into his mouth, rinsed and spat it out, wiped his face with a towel, then stood up and returned to the wooden house. Today after waking, he felt refreshed, his mind clearer than ever. Millet porridge?
As soon as he entered the room, he smelled the rich aroma. It was the scent of millet porridge.
Do you not want to eat? Van Han asked innocently. Of course not.
So Fong laughed, sat by the wooden table, and said, I thought eating once a week was already very good.
Your words make it sound like I starve you.
Van Han rolled her eyes, then scooped porridge for him.
So Fong chuckled, lifted the clay bowl, blew gently, and sipped. Lu Waimong spoke vaguely. So Fong, after eating will we set off?
Yes, we can go slowly, no need to rush, we will return before dark.
So Fong nodded, chewing venison. We should bring some ice. Lu Waimong put down her chopsticks and fetched fresh ice. Good. She sat back satisfied.
Half an hour later, she carried a bamboo tube of ice and set off with him.
I know.
So Fong waved without turning back, walking along the stream.
Lot lap lap lo lap lap.
Lu Waimong hummed, adjusting her wide hat, following him closely. So Fong pondered the last monthly gift, the three-dimensional consciousness. Apart from knocking him out, it seemed to do nothing else.
Lu Waimong, walking ahead, asked curiously, So Fong, what are you thinking? You look deep.
Nothing, be careful, watch the path, don't twist your ankle.
He reminded. Don't worry, I am watching.
She replied, though if she twisted her foot again, she might never go out. I hope to find more chicken fat mushrooms this time.
She muttered. They walked slowly. After more than 2 hours, bushes and trees appeared. Hack Hugh.
Lu Waimong stepped on a stone, crossed the stream.
Let's go this way. So Fong said. Okay.
She nodded, following. After over 10 minutes, they reached a shady forest. Tall trees blocked the sun. It was much cooler. Be careful, if something happens shout loud, but don't go far.
He instructed. Don't just look for mushrooms, remember the path. He added. All right, I remember. She waved without looking back. Lo lap lap lo lap lap.
She hummed, tapping bushes with a stick, eyes searching the ground.
Chicken fat mushrooms, come out.
She muttered, poking fallen leaves. Unknowingly she had walked for over 10 minutes, head lowered searching.
Question mark. She stopped, confused. Where was this place? So Fong? She called, no answer. Oh no, am I lost?
She bit her lip, tapped her head. She had just been warned yet already made a foolish mistake.
Maybe this way.
She trusted her intuition, picked a direction. After more than 10 minutes, the place grew stranger, trees taller. Under a big tree, golden mushrooms grew, surrounded by dry leaves, clearly untouched for long.
Mushrooms. Her face lit up, stepping forward. Crack! Ah! A branch snapped, she lost footing and fell. She had stepped on a hollow root hidden by leaves, slipped, and fell. SSS. She lay on the ground, hissing in pain, still muttering, "Why am I so unlucky? So Fong, where are you?" She called, no reply. She bit her lip, sat up, pressed her swollen ankle, muttered, "So unlucky, twisted my foot." She tried to stand, but couldn't, hands and knees scraped, body aching, no strength left. "So Fong, where are you?" she cried, face full of helplessness. Time passed, only birds and rustling leaves answered. "Sister, did I hear someone ahead shouting?" A female voice came from the front. Chapter 684, Is it so? Really, why did I not hear anything? Nantan Nok was full of doubt. She listened quietly. Besides birdsong and the rustling of leaves, there was nothing else. Next to her came a gentle voice. "No, maybe you misheard?" Nan Nu Nok pursed her lips, whispering. "Strange, I clearly heard it just now, it even sounded like someone's name." "Alright, must be a mistake, let's head to the thorny woods, today we still need to move many branches." Nantan Nok spoke softly, reaching out to pat her sister's head. "Okay." Nan Nu Nok also suspected she misheard. "So Fong, where are you?" At this moment, the voice rang again, this time very clear. "Sister, listen, I really heard it." Nan Nu Nok stopped and spoke innocently. "I heard it too." Nantan Nok frowned, stopped, and looked toward the sound. "Who is So Fong? Who are they calling?" "Sister, should we go check?" Nan Nu Nok asked softly. "It must be another contestant, better not disturb." Nantan Nok said seriously. Since hearing that voice, her heart sank. So there were still other contestants around, then how many resources were left nearby? But the voice sounded painful. Are we really not going to look? Nan Nu Nok murmured. "This." Nantan Nok hesitated. Nan Nu Nok pulled her sister's hand holding the knife and whispered. "Let's just take a look, if the person is fine then we leave." "All right." Nantan Nok sighed, stroked her sister's head. She was still kind as ever. "Be careful," Nantan Nok warned, gripping the bough with the other hand, ready to attack. So Fong. Lu Waimong leaned half against a tree, hugging her bow and bamboo tube, calling loudly. She sighed, shut her mouth, looked up at the drone, and said helplessly, "I do not even know where this is, so Fong surely cannot hear me." Suddenly came the sound of rustling, something approached. "Hey, are you all right?" From behind the bushes, Nan Nu Nok peeked out, asking with concern. Nantan Nok stood beside, eyes vigilant on Lu Waimong, full of curiosity and surprise. Lu Waimong gave the impression of two words, benevolent and gentle. Her face and figure showed she ate well, otherwise she could not keep such a healthy body. "Who are you, why here?" Lu Waimong frowned and asked. "We live nearby, we heard your voice so came." Nan Nu Nok answered, stopping her steps. "Ah?" Lu Waimong was stunned. "Nearby? Then why never seen you before?" "We moved here 2 days ago." Nan Nu Nok replied casually. "Strange, why does everyone move this way?" Lu Waimong muttered, remembering the Zhao brothers. "You also live nearby?" Nantan Nok asked. Lu Waimong rolled her eyes and answered naturally. "Of course, since arriving on the island I have always been here." Nantan Nok frowned, nodded slightly, thoughtful. "Do not talk more, I accidentally hurt my leg." Lu Waimong said bitterly, putting down the bough, taking the bamboo tube to rub her leg. "A sprain within 48 hours can be treated with ice compress,
reducing pain and swelling, relaxing muscles, improving circulation, slowing skin renewal. Because after a sprain, small vessels break and bleed, usually only after 24 hours swelling stops, but ice can accelerate hemostasis.
Do you need help?
Nantan Nak asked.
Maybe.
Nantan Nak took the knife, soon cut a wooden stick as thick as a wrist, over 1 meter long. She handed it to Lu Waimong, softly asking,
Need me to support you? No, I want to keep icing.
Lu Waimong smiled, though her ankle still hurt.
Ice? Nantan Nak raised her brow. This was wilderness, where was ice? You have ice? Nan Nu Nak asked doubtfully. Yes, right here. Lu Waimong frowned, opened the bamboo tube, revealing melting ice. Really ice? How? Do you have a refrigerator? Nan Nu Nak covered her mouth in shock.
Nantan Nak was
NK
also
books.
astonished, looking at the still cold ice, clearly real.
Is So Fong your teammate? Nantan Nak asked curiously. I wish so. Lu Wai Mong muttered.
Nantan Nak froze, instinctively asked.
Not? Yes and no, it is hard to say.
Lu Waimong shrugged, unwilling to explain more.
Then where is So Fong? Why leave you here? Nan Nu Nak asked curiously.
Not abandoned me, I just got lost, I do not know where this is.
Lu Waimong blushed, eyes dodging, unwilling to admit but true. Lost?
The sisters looked at each other, silence in their eyes.
Cough, as long as I get back to the small stream, I can find the way. Lu Waimong coughed, hiding her embarrassment.
The stream, not far from here.
Nan Nu Nak pointed casually behind. Really? Lu Waimong rejoiced.
As long as she found the small stream, followed it back to the thorny woods, she could return to her place. Whether to find So Fong or return to hiding, either way worked, but in truth, she wanted to find So Fong more.
Chapter 685, Are these two a couple? It is fine, with this stick I can walk.
Lu Waimong pouted slightly, nodding at the wooden staff.
She put away the bamboo tube, took the staff, and tried to stand. I will help you.
Nan Nu Nak stepped close, holding her arm.
Thank you. Lu Waimong turned her head in gratitude, her eyes flicking to the girl's cheek, curiosity rising. What happened to your face? Nothing.
Nan Nu Nak paled, covered her cheek, her once rosy face now wan, and turned away.
Sorry, I did not mean to.
Lu Waimong felt guilty.
She then said, My name is Lu Waimong, may I know yours? I am Nantan Nak, this is my younger sister, Nan Nu Nak. She answered gently, supporting her. Beautiful names.
Lu Waimong praised.
Thanks, can you walk?
Nantan Nak asked softly, letting go and stepping back.
I will try.
Lu Waimong leaned on the staff, her injured right leg lifted, her left stepping forward. She walked shakily, but managed.
This will not do, you may fall in the forest. Nantan Nak frowned. It is fine, I can manage.
Lu Waimong waved her hand, thinking So Fong must be worried, she should hurry back.
Let me take you outside. Nan Nu Nak said, calmer now. No need. Lu Waimong waved quickly, unwilling to trouble.
She walked a few steps, then looked back at the mushrooms under the big tree.
Do you want those mushrooms? I will dig them for you. Nan Nu Nak said brightly, crouching to dig up 5 mushrooms with a stick. Ha, thank you.
Lu Waimong laughed, then apologized. Sorry, I did not mean to mention your sad matter, I had no ill will. Nan Nu Nak pressed her lips and replied, It is fine, I know you were only curious.
That is good. Lu Waimong breathed out.
Nantan Nak glanced at her sister, then at Lu Waimong, deep in thought. We will take you out, there are bushes and weeds here, you may slip. Nan Nu Nak carefully supported her, avoiding the wound. She smiled, It is nothing, we only came to cut some branches.
Near the brook with thorny trees? Lu Waimong's eyes lit up. Yes, you know it? Nan Nu Nok nodded. Perfect, let us go there, maybe So Fong is there.
She smiled, glancing at her sister.
Thank you.
Lu Waimong felt relieved.
No need, watch your step. Nan Nu Nok reminded.
Nantan Nok walked ahead, holding her other hand.
Where did you live before, how did you come here? Lu Waimong asked curiously.
On the high mountain, resources were scarce, climbing was troublesome, so we moved.
Nantan Nok replied. I see. Lu Waimong nodded. Do you know how far the coast is?
Nantan Nok asked.
Not far, less than a day from here. Lu Waimong answered. Wonderful.
Joy filled her face.
You want to go to the coast? Lu Waimong asked. Yes.
She nodded, exchanging a glance with her sister.
After half an hour, they reached the thicket. Will he hear?
Nantan Nok whispered.
Step, step. Who are you calling pervert? So Fong's voice rang, he appeared with his bow. Great, I finally found you. Lu Waimong sighed, relieved. So Fong frowned, that should be my line, did you get lost? Ah, no problem.
Lu Waimong avoided his eyes. So Fong sighed, seeing through her.
He walked up, asking, Are you hurt? Just slipped, not serious, but I found mushrooms, look.
She pointed to the basket with 5 mushrooms. You, after all my warnings, still hurt your leg. So Fong rubbed his temple, helpless.
It was an accident. She pouted. He sighed, Your sister will not let you go out again. He, no, she will just be silent.
Lu Waimong mimicked her sister.
He, it is fine. She laughed brightly. The sisters watched quietly, astonished, thinking, Are these two a couple? So Fong looked curiously and asked, And who are you two? Chapter 686, You are still beautiful. Hello, I am So Fong.
So Fong politely reached out his hand.
Thank you for helping Waimong. You are welcome.
Nantan Nok hesitated a little and shook hands with him. They let go quickly without much talk, which made Nantan Nok more certain that they were lovers. But why were they not in the same team? That was puzzling. From their conversation, she realized Waimong and So Fong were from different groups.
Waimong asked curiously.
NK Books.
So Fong, did you find chicken fat mushrooms? Yes, I found a bit more than you. So Fong lowered the bamboo basket for her to see. 1 flower, 2 flowers, 11 flowers, so many?
Waimong blinked her long lashes, very surprised.
Just good luck. So Fong explained.
He glanced at Nan Nu Nok several times. She looked around 17 or 18.
Nan Nu Nok instinctively turned away, covering the scar on her left cheek. So Fong, do not stare at me like that.
Waimong wrinkled her nose and reminded him. Ah, I did not mean it, I just felt she is about the same age as Van Han. It is impressive she survived half a year on the island. So Fong explained shyly.
Really, Nu Nok, how old are you now? Waimong asked in surprise.
I had my birthday on the mountain, now I am 17.
Nu Nok replied, wondering who Van Han was. Same age as Van Han, if you meet you will get along.
So Fong said with admiration.
No.
Nu Nok suddenly spoke and lowered her head.
So Fong was surprised and asked. Why? Nu Nok.
Nantan Nok frowned and stepped forward to shield her sister. In that instant, So Fong understood her meaning. His face was calm, only the first surprise showed, then regret and a trace of sorrow.
Yes.
Nu Nok's face showed doubt, she saw care in his eyes, not disgust or fear. You really should not think that way, Van Han is not that kind of person. So Fong smiled gently. He paused, recalling.
Van Han and I grew up in an orphanage.
We knew a girl there, her injuries were far worse than yours.
The sisters looked at each other in shock. So Fong and Van Han grew up in an orphanage?
So Fong took a deep breath and continued. That girl lost her legs in a fire, half her skin burned, yet she still played happily with others. Nunak covered her mouth, eyes red with tears, deeply moved. If she were alive, she would be 16 this year. So Fong sighed, remembering the girl in a wheelchair who always smiled.
What happened to her? Nunak's lips trembled. Last year she was found with late-stage cancer. So Fong sighed softly. People should live happily, not care too much about others' eyes. He patted her head gently. Besides, you are still beautiful. Nunak blushed, biting her lip. Really? Yes, I know.
Her eyes lit up, nodding firmly, her spirit changed completely. Nantan Nak was amazed, one sentence from him transformed her sister.
All right, I will take Wai Mong back to treat her wounds. So Fong picked up the basket.
If you are free, come to our camp, just follow the small stream down.
Yes, I want to meet Van Han. Nunak said brightly. He turned to Wai Mong. Get on, we must treat your wounds. Okay.
Wai Mong blushed, happily climbed onto his back, hugging his neck tightly.
Let's go.
So Fong lifted her and walked along the stream.
Wai Mong looked back smiling. Tan Nak, Nunak, thank you, come visit us. Okay. Tan Nak waved. So Fong, thank you. Nunak suddenly shouted. You are welcome.
He did not turn back, soon they vanished among the trees.
They are gone. Nunak took a breath, tucking her hair behind her ear.
She smiled at her sister.
Sister, I am also very beautiful now, right? You are the most beautiful.
Tan Nak hugged her tightly, eyes red.
Hee, I knew it, let's cut some branches, it is getting late. Nunak patted her sister's back. Okay.
Tan Nak nodded, leading her to the bushes.
Sister, so Fong and Wai Mong must be a couple. Nunak asked innocently. Sister, I want to visit their camp and meet Van Han, is it okay? Nunak asked softly. Okay, I will go with you when we have time. Tan Nak replied gently. Chapter 687, You are used to it already?
Inside the wooden house, Van Han and Luai Thursday sat around the wooden table, holding stones to grind the grains.
My hands are so sore.
Van Han grimaced, lowered her hands and rubbed her wrist. Let's stop here for today, this millet is enough for 4 or 5 meals. Luai Thursday said gently.
All right, let's do that.
Van Han nodded, cleared the husks on the table, poured the millet into a ceramic jar, sealed it and placed it on the wooden shelf to avoid dampness.
Ha!
Luai Thursday stood up, walked to the window to stretch, gazing at the lush green vegetation outside, her eyes relaxed.
So Fong should be back soon.
Van Han brushed her hands, came next to Luai Thursday, also looking far away.
Luai Thursday squinted, leaned forward and asked uncertainly, Is that So Fong and the others? Seems so, Sister Mong is being carried by So Fong, what happened?
Van Han's long lashes trembled, her face showed surprise.
Sister, Van Han, we are back.
From afar, Luai Mong saw them at the window, quickly raised her hand to wave, laughing, I hurt my leg again.
Luai Thursday's lips twitched, hurt again? No way.
Van Han exclaimed, then hurried downstairs, pushed the gate open.
Creak.
The wooden door opened, so Fong carried Luai Mong inside.
Oops, my mistake again. Luai Mong giggled.
Luai Thursday rolled her eyes, sighed, how bold you are.
Put Sister Mong down first. Van Han reminded softly.
Yes, let's go upstairs. So Fong smiled wryly, climbed the ladder and placed Luai Mong on a chair.
Thank you. Luai Thursday glanced at So Fong. It's fine, not heavy.
So Fong waved carelessly, turned to look for medicine on the wooden shelf.
Shut up.
Lu Wai Thursday
NK
angrily
books.
tapped her sister's head.
Lu Wai Mong pouted, pretended to be serious. Don't bully the injured. Ah. Lu Wai Thursday sat down, gently touched the swollen leg, asked, Does it hurt? I'm fine, I got used to it.
Lu Wai Mong waved casually.
You are used to it already?
Lu Wai Thursday raised her hand, held back from hitting her again. How can you get used to this?
Don't hit me, this time we even met new contestants.
Lu Wai Mong hugged her head. They are Nan Nu Nok and Nan Tan Nok, twin sisters.
Lu Wai Mong chattered. Nan Nu Nok, what a nice name. Van Han said.
Van Han pursed her lips proudly, continued listening.
That's it. After a while, Lu Wai Mong stopped. We should really thank the Nan sisters. Lu Wai Thursday nodded.
Luckily they helped, otherwise who knows what would happen to you.
Van Han laughed.
Yes, though we are rivals, they still helped me, truly kind people.
Lu Wai Mong sighed. There are still many good people in this world.
So Fong sat in front of Lu Wai Mong, gently held her swollen leg, whispered, Don't move, I'll bandage it.
All right.
Lu Wai Mong blushed, her eyes shy.
So Fong applied the herbal paste to her ankle, asked, Does it hurt? A bit.
Lu Wai Mong pursed her lips.
Bear with it.
So Fong wrapped the cloth to hold the paste. He stood up, done, change the medicine once a day, in 3 days it will heal.
What about her wrist and knee? Van Han asked softly.
After checking, So Fong said, no damage to tendons, just wash with soapy water, they will heal, nothing serious.
Will there be scars? Lu Wai Mong asked nervously.
These small wounds will leave no scars, don't worry.
So Fong smiled warmly.
All right, stay quietly in the house for the next days, don't jump around.
So Fong said with amusement. Ah, so I can't do anything? Lu Wai Mong pouted.
Lu Wai Thursday glanced coldly, not exactly, there are still grains waiting to be ground.
That's bullying the injured, I can't move.
Lu Wai Mong stuck her tongue, pretended to act. Lu Wai Thursday was speechless, having such a sister made life in the wilderness lively.
So Fong, did you harvest anything this time? Van Han asked. Got some mushrooms.
So Fong pointed at the basket.
Then will you cook wild vegetable soup tonight? Van Han smiled. If you want, I will.
So Fong fondly patted her head.
Van Han blushed, sweetly smiled and nodded. All right, leave dinner to me tonight. So Fong grinned, thought of some new dishes, then went downstairs.
I'll tend the garden, tomorrow we can plant more.
So Fong went out. I'll help you. Van Han followed with boots, tending the millet plot. So Fong, isn't the garden small? Van Han muttered. Yes, we need to build more fences.
So Fong said with the shovel.
Chapter 688, Could they still ascend to the heavens? The fire crackled.
In the wooden hut, Van Han tended the flames while So Fong prepared dinner. Lu Wai Mong rested her head on the wooden table, waiting silently. After more than 20 minutes, a steaming bowl of wild vegetable soup was placed on the table. So Fong smiled and said, If you are hungry, drink some soup first, the rest of the dishes will be ready soon.
All right. Lu Wai Mong straightened up, sniffing eagerly. Hee, good.
She took the wooden spoon and scooped half a bowl. After more than 10 minutes, the rest of the dishes arrived, a table full with vegetarian food, meat dishes, and 2 soft blocks of tofu.
Lu Wai Mong's eyes shone as she asked, So Fong, what are these dishes called?
So Fong sat down, pointing to the vegetarian dish. This is steamed pine mushroom, it can be eaten with Utrima tenu greens. The dish was simply clean mushrooms steamed to retain the purest flavor, served with greens if desired. This is breadfruit stuffed with meat, try it. It was breadfruit hollowed out, filled with minced venison, pan-fried until golden, then simmered with pepper and spices into a sauce.
Smells so good. The three girls swallowed.
Another dish was pine mushroom with seafood, using dried oysters, Buddha's hand snails, seaweed, and mushroom slices, cooked into a colorful stew.
Looks delicious. Lu Waimong pointed. Not just looks, it really tastes good.
Van Han corrected sternly, oil still on her lips, clearly having sneaked a taste.
Eat quickly, it will not taste good when cold.
So Fong raised his chopsticks.
All right.
The three girls picked up chopsticks. I like the pine mushroom seafood stew best.
Lu Wai Thursday reached out. I like them all.
Van Han said with a smile.
Hee hee, as long as So Fong cooks, you like it.
Lu Waimong teased.
Van Han's face reddened, she protested, not true.
So Fong smiled, ladling soup into her bowl, gently saying, do not just eat rice, drink more soup for your health.
All right. Van Han replied brightly.
In the live stream, comments scrolled quickly. Suddenly rice tastes bland, I also want to go to Huin Noyet Island.
Confirmed, So Fong is a hidden chef. If he does not compete, I will hire him as a chef in my restaurant.
No, he should come to my Michelin 5-star, we will not mistreat him.
Do the great ones really have this much free time to watch and comment?
After half an hour, the four finished eating, each letting out a burp.
So Fong. Lu Waimong hesitated. What is it? Just say it. So Fong frowned.
I want to invite the Nan sisters for a meal, to repay their kindness.
Lu Waimong shrank back, eyes evasive. Waimong. Lu Wai Thursday frowned. Of course, no problem. NK Books.
So Fong agreed without hesitation.
Really? Lu Waimong was stunned, then asked excitedly, you agree?
Yes, but wait until you recover, then we will personally go to thank them. So Fong said gently.
He is right, that shows sincerity, you cannot ask someone to travel far just to be thanked.
Van Han nodded firmly.
Thank you.
Lu Wai Thursday said seriously.
Hee hee, we are friends, saying thank you is too formal.
Van Han leaned her head on Lu Wai Thursday's shoulder.
So Fong pressed his lips, thinking, should she also hug me?
Elsewhere, more than 3 hours away, the Zhao brothers sat by a fire, frustrated.
Why can we not find their camp? Zhao Lei frowned. Maybe we went the wrong way? Zhao Loi sighed.
They had searched 2 days, finding only a collapsed stone wall from flooding. Impossible, they clearly went that way, the cut branches prove it.
Zhao Lei said firmly. His eyes lit up, maybe we just did not go far enough? They always turned back before dark, wasting time on the road. We have slept outside before, do you not still want meat? Zhao Lei asked. Of course. Zhao Loi retorted. Zhao Lei glanced at the camera, voice turning cold, tomorrow we go further, I refuse to believe we cannot find their camp. And if still not? Zhao Loi asked. Impossible, could they ascend to the heavens? Zhao Lei roared. Since losing meat, every midnight hunger woke them, hard to sleep again. He stood, walking into the dark forest. To relieve himself. Zhao Loi muttered angrily. Without a torch, beware of snakes. Zhao Lei shouted. Shut up. Zhao Loi snapped. Chapter 689, Danger Approaches. Ha. So Fong slightly curved his lips, opened his eyes, and glanced at the sleeping girl beside him, his face full of tenderness, then carefully left the bed. Mark. The command echoed in his mind. A moment later, the familiar simulation screen appeared, showing the glowing number 2 days. So Fong stepped to the window, looked into the distance, and whispered, it is the 220th day in the wilderness. I wonder what the 5th gift pack will reveal. He muttered, then turned, grabbed his washing items, and went downstairs. After half an hour, the Lu sisters and the girl got up one by one. Do not move, let me help you across.
Lu Wai Thursday hurriedly supported her younger sister, hopping on one leg.
I can hop over myself,
Lu Wai Mong said confidently.
If you are careless, you might injure your left leg, fall, be bitten by a dog, and in the end ruin your face and never marry. Lu Wai Thursday calmly listed a chain of consequences.
Sister, that is too terrifying.
Lu Wai Mong shrank back, obediently admitted, better you help me, I do not want to live alone forever.
Lu Wai Thursday smiled, confident she could manage her stubborn sister. Van Han covered her mouth, laughing secretly. Only Lu Wai Thursday could restrain Lu Wai Mong.
How does your leg feel? So Fong crouched, checking Lu Wai Mong's right leg.
She frowned, bit her lip, endured the itch, and pitifully said, it is not too painful, just itchy, I really want to scratch.
Bear with it.
So Fong smiled, stood, and took herbs from the wooden rack, carefully mixed them, and put them into the bottle. More than 10 minutes later, he removed the old cloth bandage and applied fresh medicine. Lu Wai Mong shook her leg after the treatment, grumbling, thinking back, I am still upset, why am I so unlucky?
Not unlucky, just careless. So Fong chuckled. She stuck out her tongue, made a grimace, and murmured, next time I will stay with you, never leaving your side. Even if you had not said, I would never split paths with you again. So Fong laughed, wiped his hands clean. Breakfast is ready. Van Han placed the baked bread on the table. All right.
They stopped playing, washed their hands, and ate together.
After breakfast, sow the millet first, then go gather more breadfruit.
So Fong thought aloud, with the cellar ready, storing more is better.
Lu Wai Mong raised her hand, then embarrassedly lowered it. I cannot go.
So Fong, you go gather breadfruit, I will handle the garden.
Van Han gently said. All right, I will prepare the seeds shortly. He nodded. Yes. She sweetly smiled.
Soon after, So Fong prepared millet seeds, herbs, and soaking liquid, then placed the seeds inside. The grass had turned to millet, no need for more soaking. Van Han, the garden is yours, I will gather breadfruit. He carried a sack and bamboo basket, heading downstairs.
Be safe. She reminded. Understood. He replied. I will join.
Lu Wai Thursday finished her stew, picked up a small basket.
Are you full? So Fong frowned at her. Hiccup. Her face reddened, hand covering her mouth. Seems you are, let us go. He suppressed a laugh and walked down. Sister, be safe. Lu Wai Mong shouted. Yes.
Lu Wai Thursday waved without turning.
The two left the camp and entered the forest.
Soon, the breadfruit grove appeared.
I will climb, you stay below to catch, do not let it hit you. So Fong instructed. You be careful too. She reminded. Yes. He nodded, swiftly climbed. Throw now. Lu Wai Thursday held the sack open. He released, the fruit fell neatly inside. Continue. This time he tossed too. Relieved, his speed increased.
Suddenly, rustling came from the bushes behind her, making him stop.
What is it? She asked. Do not move.
His brows furrowed, danger sense rising.
All right. N.K.
She
books.
pursed her lips, holding the fruit tightly.
Though unsure, she knew his look always meant danger was near. Stay still. He repeated quietly. He crouched on the branch, leaning forward, brows deeply knit, focus sharper than ever.
The rustling grew louder, she trembled. But forced herself not to turn. Helpless, she looked up at him, lips parting.
Trust me, do not move. She was startled, for his voice sounded in her mind, was it an illusion? Hopefully you will not doubt. He sighed, using mental communication in urgency, uncertain of the outcome. Chapter 690, 2 Kicks to Kill.
The bush rustled slightly.
Not coming out?
So Fong frowned, his aura of dominance spreading. In an instant, a stream of light flashed through his mind, forming a three-dimensional image.
What is this?
He froze, then willed the image to shift, from the front to the back. Though blurry, he could still make out trees, weeds, and a tiger. His face tensed, his focus sharpened. The tiger in the vision leapt from the bush, charging straight at Lu Y Thursday. His expression changed, his toes pressed hard, his body launched toward her back. Lu Y Thursday sensed something behind, wanted to turn, but forced herself to hold still.
Roar!
The tiger rushed fast, the distance less than 2 meters, then 1 meter, then half a meter.
Fall for me. So Fong leapt down, releasing his tyrannical aura.
Before she could react, he stomped on the tiger's head.
Roar! Crack!
Bone snapped, the tiger froze, blood gushed from its mouth, staining fallen leaves and soil.
Bang bang!
So Fong twisted his foot, flipped the tiger to confirm it was dead, then clapped his hands and said calmly, "Done." Lu Y Thursday turned, her face pale, stunned in place. In the live stream, viewers exploded, bullets of comments filled the screen.
Damn, I have no words to describe my feelings now. What the hell, the tiger was killed in just 2 kicks.
So Fong is defying the heavens, wolves and tigers are nothing to him.
Scared? So Fong frowned, waved his hand before her, thinking, are you alright? No. I am fine. Her body trembled, then she exhaled in fear, saying, why did the tiger suddenly appear here? Thump thump. Her heartbeat raced. If he had not noticed, she would be the one lying dead now. Thinking of this, her face grew paler. Open your mouth, breathe deep, relax, it is fine. He patted her back gently, guiding her breath. Huff huff huff. Better now, he asked again. Much better. She looked at him gratefully, unable to stop herself from hugging his waist. It is fine, relax. He hesitated, then patted her back to calm her. Observers in the room, Ha-min and others, fell silent for a moment, then erupted. My view of him has changed. Von Lam twitched his lips, eyes full of disbelief. So Fong has always been this strong. No Tan Noyet smiled lightly, as if unsurprised. In truth, waves surged in her heart, though her face remained calm. So handsome, how can he be so handsome? Her heart screamed, eyes shining with fascination. Vi Din, what do you think? Ha-min asked. If in a martial arts contest, he could only be first. Tae Vi Din pressed her lips, speaking firmly, completely subdued. She knew she could never do that, to stomp a tiger dead with 2 kicks? Impossible. So high a praise? Ha-min was surprised. No matter the age, he is first. Tae Vi Din added seriously. She found him harder to understand, though they had lived together days, his mysteries remained countless. He dared not admit it openly, otherwise martial experts would trouble him. Unlike Tae Vi Din, he lacked such powerful background to shield him. Honestly, if So Fong is not first, I will suspect foul play. Vong Lam sighed. Ha-min whispered through his headset, no foul play, even academician Li Ko would not want that. Oh? Vong Lam stared. Ha-min straightened, answering audience questions, like whether this was a special effect. Whatever the case, the hottest topic is So Fong. No Tan Noyet shrugged. Vong Lam pursed his lips, silent. Thank you, I owe you again. Lu Y Thursday held him tightly, then blushed and pulled away. Cough, it is fine. So Fong waved casually. He looked at her again, concerned. Are you really fine? Why is your body still trembling? Is it? She raised her hand, seeing her fingers tremble. Hiss. She inhaled sharply, then felt her body lighten. Not trembling anymore. Her fingers had calmed. Good. She did not force herself, weakly stepping away from the tiger, yet staying close to him, finally sitting under a breadfruit tree. Chapter 691, Bringing a Surprise. He carried a wooden pole as a shoulder yoke, with a sack of bread tied to one end and the tiger's limbs bound at the other. Let's go. So Fong easily lifted it, glanced at Lu Wai Thursday under the willow tree and asked softly, "Shall we leave?" "Yes." Lu Wai Thursday stood up, leaning on the trunk, and followed him. So Fong felt relieved and walked ahead. Ah! He suddenly sighed. "What is it?" Lu Wai Thursday asked softly. "Nothing, I just thought of Van Han's expression when we return." So Fong gave a bitter smile. "I know." Lu Wai Thursday's lips curved with a faint smile. So Fong smiled tenderly. "She won't blame me, only the old 099 will worry." Lu Wai Thursday nodded lightly, strangely feeling some envy. After about 15 minutes, they reached the camp. So Fong pushed the gate open with one hand and stepped inside. "Ah, you're back?" Van Han looked up in surprise. "NK Books." But in the next moment, her eyes froze and the shovel dropped from her hand. "Back already, with a surprise for you." So Fong laughed, lowering the yoke. Yet the striped tiger drew all attention. This surprise was more fear than joy. Van Han frowned, hurrying out from the garden, both shocked and worried. "You were gone less than an hour, how did you bring back a tiger?" "Well, Thursday can explain." So Fong said helplessly. Fortunately So Fong was there, otherwise I. Lu Wai Thursday took a deep breath and explained the whole matter. Hearing her, Lu Wai Mon leaned out from the window, asking with concern, "Sister, are you all right?" "Sit still, don't fuss," Lu Wai Thursday instructed. "Then you come up here," Lu Wai Mong called. "All right, you go first." So Fong told Lu Wai Thursday softly, "Rest more, maybe take a nap." Then he dragged the tiger to the stream, for in his view, food should not be wasted, and this beast was destined for the table. "It's fine, the tiger didn't touch me," So Fong dealt with it. Lu Wai Thursday reassured. Lu Wai Mong sighed with relief, teasing, "Seems sister's luck is not so good, running into a tiger like that." Good thing So Fong was there. Van Han patted her chest, gently said, "Sister Thursday, you don't look well, go rest." "Yes, I feel tired," Lu Wai Thursday whispered. "Sleep," Van Han said warmly. Lu Wai Thursday removed her shoes, crawled into the sleeping bag and soon her steady breathing was heard. Seems she was quite frightened. Lu Wai Mong muttered. "Let her sleep, she'll be fine after." Van Han whispered. "Yes." Lu Wai Mong nodded, moving gently while working on millet. Van Han watched for a while, then quietly left and went to the stream to help So Fong. "Did she fall asleep?" So Fong asked. "Yes, right away, her spirit is weak," Van Han replied with worry. "Sleep will help, it was just fear," So Fong said casually. "Yes, the forest is too dangerous." Van Han sighed, cutting and washing the tiger meat. "I trust that." Van Han nodded. So Fong skinned the tiger, cleaned it and soaked it with charcoal ash and water. "Tonight we eat tiger meat, I wonder how it tastes." Van Han sniffed the meat, smelling blood and wild stench. "It must be marinated with forest cinnamon and ginger," So Fong reminded. "All right." Van Han nodded. She added wood to the fire, looked at the sky and said, "It hasn't rained in a long time." In the morning they processed the tiger, by afternoon the meat was hung to smoke. "Perhaps rain will come soon." So Fong looked at the sky, unsure. "Yes, hope it rains, it will be cooler." Van Han sighed. Creak. The wooden door opened, Lu Wai Thursday came down, stretching. "I'm fine now, I feel refreshed." She let down her hair, looking lively. "Then I must eat 2 big bowls," Lu Wai Thursday teased. "No problem, I'll make extra." Van Han smiled sweetly, having kept tiger meat fresh with ice salt. "Good." Lu Wai Thursday nodded.
I'll prepare dinner, soon it will be ready.
Van Han went upstairs eagerly.
Next time such a situation comes, you won't be as afraid. So Fong said gently.
But I don't want a next time.
Lu Wai Thursday said bitterly. Wild beasts appeared.
Too often, showing the island was very dangerous.
In fact, if So Fong knew other contestants' conditions, he would shout unfair.
We can only pray.
Lu Wai Thursday's lips twitched, voice full of doubt.
Chapter 692, Still Too Foolish.
Van Han was busy in the kitchen, 2 iron pots boiled at once, one stewing meat, the other cooking soup. By now everyone had grown accustomed to having soup at dinner, whether seafood broth or wild greens with salted meat, it was always indispensable.
I am so curious, how will tiger meat taste?
Lu Wai Mong rubbed her hands, her face full of anticipation.
Maybe that will not taste so good. Suddenly she felt less eager.
But tiger meat is very nutritious. So Fong explained with a smile.
Tiger meat can strengthen the spleen, boost energy, harden bones, treat weakness, nausea and even malaria. So many benefits.
Lu Wai Mong swallowed hard, maybe it will not be so bad to eat. After more than 10 minutes, Van Han carried the iron pot to the wooden table.
Smells wonderful, let me taste it.
Lu Wai Mong eagerly grabbed chopsticks, picked a piece of tiger meat and chewed. Her eyes lit up as she said, the flavor is not bad, only the texture is a bit coarse.
Hee, I used the bear meat recipe, so there should be no fishy or sour taste, right? Van Han laughed. Not too bad.
Lu Wai Mong picked another piece, speaking unclearly with her mouth full. I never thought I could eat tiger meat one day.
Then we really are foodies? She smiled innocently.
Lu Wai Thursday twitched her lips, silently ate a piece, as if to swallow down her shock. It tastes a bit like bear meat.
Van Han commented. But herbivores taste better. So Fong's keen palate detected a faint sourness. Next time we should grill it.
Van Han drank soup. She did not like tiger meat much. Compared to venison or rabbit it was far worse. Though the meat was not great, within half an hour the tiger meat was gone.
Full at last.
Lu Wai Mong patted her round belly.
That is fine. She nodded brightly.
But wait until your leg is healed, without that you cannot go anywhere. Lu Wai Thursday reminded sternly.
Got it. Lu Wai Mong muttered.
So Fong smiled softly. Tomorrow when I change the herbs, it should be nearly healed.
Really?
Lu Wai Mong asked cheerfully. Of course, your body is strong, plus my medicine, that is why you recover so fast.
So Fong explained. Then soon I can roam the world again.
Lu Wai Mong laughed excitedly. Lu Wai Thursday was startled, tapped her head angrily. Laughing like that at night, you will scare the ghosts to death.
Hitting me again.
Lu Wai Mong shrank her neck pitifully, hugging her head in gloom.
Ha ha ha. So Fong burst out laughing.
Time flew, and on the morning of the third day, Lu Wai Thursday woke first. She cut some tiger meat to feed the pet, washed up, then returned to the wooden house to light the fire and boil water. An iron pot filled with water sat on the stove. Since her cooking skills were poor, she preferred to leave the kitchen work to others, not wishing to ruin the morning.
Aha!
Van Han turned, then leaned against So Fong's chest, rubbing her sleepy eyes.
Good morning.
Lu Wai Thursday greeted softly.
All right.
She took down the pot, poured hot water into a ceramic jar. More than 10 minutes later, the girl returned, rolled up sleeves, tied a cloth apron and worked deftly in the kitchen.
I am alive again.
Lu Wai Mong opened her eyes, immediately got out of bed and walked, her leg fully recovered. Lu Wai Thursday covered her face, scolding, why screaming so early?
Sister, your voice is louder, you woke So Fong too.
Lu Wai Mong argued back. The awakened man stayed silent.
Come on, time for breakfast. Van Han clapped and smiled, and today we visit the Nan sisters. Aha!
So Fong yawned, crawled out of the sleeping bag. I know.
Finally, I can go out again. Lu Waimong hopped happily. The feeling of walking again was wonderful. Are you sure you are healed? Lu Wai Thursday asked seriously. Of course, I can even tumble. Want to see? Lu Waimong rolled up sleeves, ready to move. Do not, stay calm. I do not want you to break the other leg.
Lu Wai Thursday quickly stopped her. Tumbling inside the cabin was madness. She asked coldly, who said?
You are not a fool? I said it.
Lu Waimong lifted her head seriously, then froze, sensing something wrong. Go wash up. After breakfast we must leave early. Lu Wai Thursday cut her off.
Ah, but.
Before she could reply, she was pushed downstairs.
Still too foolish.
Sending her off, Lu Wai Thursday shook her head inside.
Chapter 693, Who will it belong to? Take some meat, let's just make hot pot, add some smoked fish and garnish.
Van Han took out ingredients from the wooden rack, counted carefully, and put them into So Fong's bamboo basket.
Van Han, should we take some mint leaves?
Lu Waimong took bread from the cellar and placed it in the basket.
Pick a bit, it can be dipping sauce. Van Han's voice was clear. All right.
Lu Waimong happily ran to the garden to pick mint by the stream.
Lu Wai Thursday watched and said with a wry smile, Van Han, are you moving house?
Van Han waved her hand and calmly replied, no, these are just hot pot essentials.
So Fong smiled bitterly, the girl hadn't even seen the Nan sisters yet.
Lu Wai Thursday saw her put salt and oil in the basket and said, I feel like we are helping our rival grow stronger. Hee, anyway first and second are ours, only the third is left. Van Han smiled confidently. Ever since she knew So Fong killed a bear and a tiger alone, her confidence grew.
Lu Wai Thursday froze. Was this deciding the third place already?
In this contest, being able to help Mong's sister means her character should not be too bad.
Van Han said while putting ground pepper in the basket. She paused, then added, though I don't know who else is competing, it's still better than the Zhao brothers. Lu Wai Thursday was stunned again. Was she still holding a grudge because they once looked down on So Fong in the helicopter? This should be enough. Lu Waimong came back and put mint neatly in the basket. Let's go.
So Fong reached out his hand to Van Han.
The girl naturally held it tight. Under the admiring eyes of the Lu sisters, the four went downstairs, closed the gate, and walked along the stream.
I heard upstream, by the stream, there are people too.
Lu Waimong said innocently. Then let's follow the stream.
So Fong led the girl forward.
Lu Waimong frowned with worry. I fear they may not be there, we might return empty-handed. It's fine, at worst we stay by the stream tonight.
So Fong said casually, he planned to eat lunch there then head back before dark.
That's good then.
Lu Waimong sighed in relief.
Lu Wai Thursday checked her sister's leg, sure she was really healed, then relaxed.
The four followed the stream, familiar path, no time wasted. Nearly 3 hours later, they saw a thorn fence and smoke rising.
Finally found it. Lu Waimong rejoiced. Let's go. Van Han took a deep breath and squeezed So Fong's hand.
On the other side, the Nan sisters were preparing snake meat. They had just returned from foraging and caught it.
Sister, we haven't eaten snake in a long time. Nan Nu Nok squatted watching, daring to eat but not to touch.
Before, in the mountains, their father sometimes caught snakes, only then she practiced daring to eat.
We can make soup or roast it, should be tasty.
Nan Nu Nok licked her lips.
Yes, as sister says. Nan Ton Nok smiled, dimples showing, dodging the snake's head. Ah, I hear Nok's voice.
From outside came a shout, Nan Nu Nok, Nan Ton Nok, we came to see you.
That's Lu Waimong's voice.
The sisters looked at each other, surprised then happy.
I'll open the door.
Nan Nu Nok smiled and hurried to push the gate. Nan Ton Nok put the snake on a rock, stood up and followed. Hee hee, we came to visit, and to thank you for saving us last time. Lu Waimong laughed and hugged Nunak. Nan Ton Nok came out, startled at the crowd.
Calling it life-saving is too much. Is your leg healed? NK Books. Nan Nunak looked at Mong's leg.
Yes, with So Fong here, such injury is nothing.
Lu Waimong proudly pulled So Fong out to show. So Fong also knows medicine?
Nan Nunak widened her eyes, remembering how swollen the leg was. Now only after a few days she could walk.
Just a little. So Fong nodded. So amazing. Nunak's eyes shone. Nice to meet again, are you well?
So Fong greeted Nan Ton Nok.
I'm fine.
She smiled politely, but wondered why so many people came.
Let me
introduce, this is my sister, Lu Wai Thursday.
Lu Waimong stepped aside. Hello. Nan Nunak greeted timidly, then glanced at the sisters. Hello.
Lu Wai Thursday smiled and explained, I and Waimong are twins. She has short hair, a bit crazy, easy to tell apart.
Sister, why do you introduce me like that? Lu Waimong pouted angrily. Nan Nunak covered her mouth laughing. Chapter 694, Perfect for Cooking Soup. Van Han stepped forward, taking Nan Nunak's hand with a smile and introduced herself. Van Han? Nice to meet you, I heard So Fong mention you.
Nan Nunak carefully observed the girl before her. Being of the same age, she could not help but admire. The girl was truly beautiful, even after more than half a year outdoors. Her skin and hair were still well kept. I know, so today we came. It is an honor to meet you. Van Han spread her arms and hugged Nan Nunak tightly. Do you not find me ugly? Nan Nunak paused slightly, her eyes reddening. Of course not, you are still very beautiful. Van Han gently pushed aside the bangs on her forehead, fearlessly placing her hand there, and said sincerely. Appearances for outsiders, but beauty and kindness come from within. Hug me once more. Nan Nunak's eyes turned redder as she hugged the girl. The Lu sisters and So Fong were surprised, such deep words from a young girl, truly worthy of being a top student. Nan Ton Nok also felt moved. It was these people who helped her sister untangle her troubles. She softly said to So Fong, we had planned to go downstream in a few days, but today you already came. Lu Waimong patted the bamboo basket on So Fong's back and smiled gently. Hee hee, let me treat you to lunch, we brought all the ingredients. Ah. That is too kind, it was your effort to find the food. Nan Ton Nok's beautiful eyes widened in surprise, then she quickly waved her hand to decline. Not hard at all, very easy, since we already carried them here, it is troublesome to take back. Lu Waimong waved lightly, innocently saying. If carried back, So Fong would be very tired. Lu Wai Thursday pressed her lips, knowing with So Fong's strength these things were nothing. This. Nan Ton Nok frowned slightly. Hee hee, just one meal, I came to repay kindness, if not eaten I will not sleep well tonight. Lu Waimong acted with great skill. Alright, let us eat outside, with so many people it would be crowded inside. So Fong looked at the shelter, the space was limited. Then I will collect wood. Lu Waimong turned into the forest. Really, so rash, be careful. Lu Wai Thursday hesitated, then also took an axe and followed. She could not rest easy leaving her sister alone. You are even thinner than me, let me cook something good for you. Van Han pinched Nan Nunak's cheeks, then rolled up her sleeves and looked at So Fong. So Fong, help build a stove. Alright, that is simple. So Fong put down the basket, glanced around, and quickly found a big stone. Very good. Van Han nodded with satisfaction. It is dangerous outside, there might even be wolves nearby. Nan Ton Nok seriously reminded. Ha ha. Van Han covered her mouth and giggled. What are you laughing at? Nan Ton Nok asked curiously. Besides wolves, there are bears, tigers, leopards, pythons, even lynxes and foxes. Van Han extended her fingers, counting the beasts they had encountered.
Van Han, really, are there truly so many wild animals?
Nan Nu Nok's face turned pale, looking around at the forest with chills.
Of course, except for lynx and fox, the rest we have already tasted. Van Han laughed brightly. Ah! The Nan sisters were stunned. The answer changed too fast. What did she mean by already tasted? What do you mean? Nan Ta Nok asked uncertainly. Just as the words say, later I will let you try. Van Han whispered mysteriously. She patted So Fong's arm confidently. Do not worry about safety, they should be worried, since our appetite is large, however many come, we will take that many. Today they did not appear, probably guarding the shelter. Van Han explained with a smile. First wash the ingredients. Van Han took the meat from the basket, squatting by the stream to wash off dust. I still feel uneasy doing this. Nan Ta Nok said helplessly. More than 10 minutes later. We are back. The Lu sisters returned with wood. Perfect, let us start the broth. Van Han lit a fire. With wood and grass, then filled the iron pot with stream water and placed it on the stove. She took out 2 large bones, looking like thigh bones of some animal. So Fong, please chop them smaller. Van Han tilted her head. Okay. So Fong took the axe, rinsed it in the stream, placed the bones on wood, then struck hard. Bang bang bang. Just right. Van Han picked the bones, washed them again, put them into the pot, then added dried oysters and some mushrooms. What is that? Nan Nu Nok asked curiously. Van Han explained with a smile. These are dried oysters, dug at the seaside, someday we can go together. Really? Nan Nu Nok's eyes lit up. Of course, that place has lots of seaweed, coconut crabs, shellfish, and fish. Van Han recited fluently, counting with her fingers. I will take you there. Nan Ta Nok patted her sister's head tenderly. When going to the sea, call us too, the road passes our camp, easy to find. Van Han said while preparing ingredients. All right. Nan Ta Nok agreed. Van Han, what were those bones for the soup? Nan Nu Nok asked curiously. Ah, those were tiger thigh bones, perfect for soup. Van Han casually replied. Chapter 695, actually very simple. Yes, there are still many, if you want you can come to get them next time. Van Han casually replied. Clatter. Nan Ruyu swallowed, as if she understood the meaning of Van Han's previous words. Nan Changyu could not help but confirm again, did you kill a tiger? Van Han shrugged, tilted her chin toward So Fong and whispered, So Fong killed it, I heard Sister Thursday said it was trampled to death with 2 kicks. Trampled to death with 2 kicks? Nan Changyu's mouth twitched, was this a joke? Hee, do not doubt, So Fong is powerful. Lu Waimong laughed and patted So Fong's shoulder. The sisters exchanged glances, seeing So Fong not deny, could it be true? All right, sit down first, we still need to work before eating, why keep standing? Van Han smiled and urged. Okay. Nan Xingyu came back to her senses and pulled her sister to sit. Sister Thursday, help cut the bear meat and tiger meat. Van Han softly instructed. Okay. Lu Wai Thursday took out bear and tiger meat from the bamboo basket, along with venison and smoked fish. Bear meat? Nan Ruyu covered her mouth in shock. Yes, but not as tasty as venison, I only brought a little for you to taste. Van Han gently smiled. Lu Waimong chuckled, hee, there was also wolf and jackal meat, but already eaten. Did you eat almost all the wild beasts on the island? Nan Xingyu doubted seriously. Not yet, lynx and fox are still untouched, and no lion yet. Van Han innocently said. There should be no lions here, lions live on the savannah? Lu Waimong swallowed and murmured, I wonder if lion meat tastes good. Nan Xingyu was speechless again, these people were so fierce. Clatter clatter.
The iron pot began boiling, clear spring water turning milky white.
Add some oil, wait a moment.
Van Han opened a small jar of vegetable oil.
She poured some into the pot, handed the jar to Nan Ruyu and said gently, "This is vegetable oil, you probably have never seen it, I did not bring it back, so I give it all to you." Vegetable oil? How can you have it? Nan Chengyu was surprised again. So Fong pressed it out.
Van Han casually explained.
Salt. The sister's eyes lit up. Hee, also So Fong's work.
Van Han's face shone with pride, like showing off her treasure.
So Fong. Nan Qingyu muttered, hearing you, it seems there is nothing he cannot do. Indeed, he can also dig a pool, heal illness, massage.
Van Han counted on her fingers.
This is a bit too much. So Fong quickly interrupted.
The sisters looked at him in amazement, scanning him from top to bottom.
Cough cough, do not believe everything. So Fong coughed to cover. I never lie. Van Han pouted innocently. So Fong smiled bitterly, was she exposing all his secrets? No more jokes, wash the wild greens first.
Van Han stuck out her tongue and squatted by the stream to wash. After half an hour, bones in the pot had turned into rich broth, the soup was ready. Sit down quickly, time to eat.
Van Han waved. Sit. Lu Waimong pulled timid Nan Ruyu to sit.
Nan Qingyu hesitated, but finally sat by her sister.
Ah, do you have chopsticks? I forgot to bring 2 pairs. Van Han counted embarrassedly. I will get them.
Nan Ruyu hurried off and soon returned with 2 pairs, giving one to her sister.
Yes, saltwater crocodile meat. Van Han nodded. Taste it and you will know.
Van Han placed a bowl of sauce before the sisters and said, "This is dipping sauce, bear and tiger meat taste heavy, dipping makes it better."
Clatter clatter. The pot still boiled. Okay. Nan Ruyu held chopsticks, overwhelmed by the many choices. Try crocodile meat first, it is quite good. Van Han put a piece into the pot. Thank you. Nan Ruyu shyly replied. You are welcome, eat more. Van Han smiled. Nan Qingyu looked at the pottery before her, amazed. I am not wrong, these were also made by So Fong? Correct. Lu Waimong laughed. Truly. Nan Qingyu sighed, how could they not live well in the wild like this? She softly asked, So Fong, are you a top student? No, the real top student is beside you.
So Fong tilted his chin at Van Han.
Question mark. Nan Qingyu did not understand. Van Han already self-studied all first-year university courses.
So Fong shrugged admiringly.
So impressive. Nan Ruyu looked at Van Han with admiration. Simple, for a top student everything is simple.
Lu Waimong teased. So Fong shook his head, chewing a mushroom.
Do not just talk, crocodile meat is ready.
Van Han put another piece into Nan Ruyu's bowl, gently saying, Quick, taste if it is good.
Chapter 696, Cooperation.
She picked up a piece of crocodile meat, blew on it, dipped it into the sauce, then put it into her mouth to chew carefully. Nan Nunak chewed twice, her eyes lit up in surprise, then she turned her head with joy and said, Sister, crocodile meat is so delicious.
Is it really?
Nan Nunak pursed her lips,
books.
Her eyes fixed on the iron pot where she had just dropped another piece of crocodile meat.
It has been so long since we last ate something this tasty.
Nan Nunak sniffled, putting down her chopsticks and bowl.
Nunak, what is wrong? Van Han asked curiously, if it is delicious, you should eat more.
Nan Nunak wrinkled her nose and innocently replied, No, if I eat food this tasty now, later my mouth will become picky. Everyone was stunned, not knowing what to say, even So Fong and the Lu sisters were speechless. Hearing her sister's words, Nan Nunak put down the crocodile meat she had just picked up, her expression a bit lonely, looking at the rich lunch before her. She gave a bitter smile. Nunak is not wrong, our ability is limited, we cannot eat like this every meal.
Actually, that is not necessarily true.
So Fong thought for a moment, then spoke softly. Why do you say that? Nantan Nak asked in confusion.
Cooperation? What kind of cooperation?
Nantan Nak furrowed her brows, clearly intrigued. Naturally, we explore new areas together, hunt together, live together.
So Fong said seriously. Nan Nunak's face turned red. She muttered softly, live together?
I do not quite understand, such cooperation for you is optional, even we might become a burden, so why exactly? Nantan Nak pressed with a serious look. I mean, in the end only 3 teams can win this contest.
You get my point?
So Fong glanced at the drone above, calmly saying, perhaps you do not know, but now on the island the number of teams remaining is very few.
That fast? How do you know?
Nantan Nak asked in shock.
This story is long, I will explain later.
So Fong waved his hand, then continued, in short, if we cooperate, the chance of final victory is the highest.
Cooperation to secure the top 3? Nantan Nak's eyes lit up.
If So Fong was telling the truth, then alliance indeed increased their odds.
Exactly.
So Fong raised his brows, picking up his chopsticks. He had already said all that was needed, now it depended on Nantan Nak's choice.
Let me think, I cannot give you a definite answer now.
Nantan Nak stayed silent for a while, then lifted her head. After all, this decision is not small. Of course, the contest still has nearly 5 months left, no rush. So Fong smiled with understanding. The Lu sisters exchanged glances, tacitly agreeing with So Fong's proposal, since this way they could unite and fight outsiders, raising the chance of victory.
So Fong, you can shoot arrows too?
Nantan Nak asked in surprise.
Just a little. So Fong smiled humbly.
That is not true, So Fong is a sharpshooter, every shot hits. Lu Waimong patted his shoulder proudly. I am not boasting, but in our archery club, no one is stronger than him.
Alright, think of this as a reassurance.
So Fong set down his chopsticks, stood up, dusted his hands, and pulled out a composite goathorn bow.
Is that a composite bow? May I see it? Nantan Nak's eyes sparkled, only now noticing it. Good bow, but the string is lacking.
Nantan Nak examined it, face full of fondness. No choice, conditions on the island are limited, we make do. So Fong said helplessly. Nantan Nak tried to draw it, but with her strength she could only pull halfway, already straining.
Van Han reminded softly, careful, do not hurt yourself. This kind of bow, can you draw it fully?
Nantan Nak slowly released her hand, handing the bow back. Words are not proof, seeing is believing. So Fong pulled an arrow, set it on the string, tilted his head. Waimong, set up a wooden block as a target.
Right away, leave it to me. Lu Wai. Mong ran, placing a wooden block on a rock 100 paces away, then called back, is this distance alright? At such distance, can it really be hit?
Nantan Nak frowned, looking at the wrist-thick wood so far away, full of doubt.
Rest assured, he will hit.
Van Han said with confidence.
Whiz.
While they were speaking, So Fong had already drawn the bow, then released. The arrow whistled through the air.
Thud.
Under Nantan Nak's stunned eyes, the arrow struck the wooden block exactly, lodging in the rock.
He really hit it.
She whispered, knowing that even her experienced hunter father could not do such a feat. So Fong, one more shot. From 100 paces away, Lu Waimong set the block again, then hid behind a tree shouting.
Whiz. Another arrow whistled, once again striking the target precisely. How is that? Not bad? So Fong raised his brows with some pride. Nantan Nak took a deep breath, then sincerely said, truly impressive. Even more impressive than father and sister?
Nan Nu Nak tugged her sister's hand. Nantan Nak could not help but reconsider the proposal. then looked at her younger sister, seeing the burn scar on her cheek, and within her heart a decision was made.
Chapter 697, Welcome to your joining. It will not be wasted, these have not even been cooked yet, they can still be kept. Nan Nu Nok secretly swallowed, speaking innocently. Nu Nok, ah.
Van Han picked up a piece of cooked deer meat, dipped it in sauce, then brought it to Nan Nu Nok's mouth. Nan Nu Nok pressed her lips, her nose already smelling the fragrant aroma.
Clunk.
Her throat moved, she tilted her head to her sister, eyes asking silently.
Eat?
Nan Ton Nok smiled and stroked her sister's head.
Then I will not be polite.
Nan Nu Nok sweetly smiled, opened her mouth to take the meat from Van Han's chopsticks, satisfied, so delicious, so rich. Nan Ton Nok also picked up chopsticks, feeling deeply moved, nearly a year without hot pot, now eating again on this island. She picked up a piece of crocodile meat, dipped it, then chewed slowly.
How is it? Lu Waimong laughed and asked. So tasty.
Nan Ton Nok was conquered by the food, still chewing, her chopsticks already placing deer meat into the pot.
NK
Lu
Books.
Waimong put bear meat into her mouth, sighing, actually goat meat in hot pot is the best.
If you want to eat, in a few days we can hunt. So Fong said while taking deer meat from Van Han.
Nan Nu Nok's eyes widened, glancing between So Fong, her sister, and Lu Waimong.
Nan Ton Nok puffed her cheeks, voice muffled. Are there goats on this island? Yes, there are also durian trees, though now not yet ripe.
Lu Waimong said with regret. But it is far, especially after moving camp, 1 day round trip is not enough.
She thought. I see.
Nan Ton Nok pressed her lips. Also, we still have breadfruit, let's roast some so you can taste it. Van Han stood, took out breadfruit, skewered it and roasted.
Nan Nu Nok watched curiously. Breadfruit, what is that? A fruit tasting like dough, not bad. Lu Wai Thursday explained. Breadfruit, sounds delicious. Nan Nu Nok put down her chopsticks, waiting. After some minutes, the skin turned black, aroma spreading. It should be ready. Van Han opened the fruit, cut it into pieces, placed on the table.
Nan Ton Nok tasted, face full of surprise, first time hearing of this fruit.
After half an hour, they sat by the stream, full. I will fetch ash, washing dishes with it is very clean. Nan Nu Nok stood, ready to go. Nu Nok, we have soap. Van Han quickly said. Ah. She stopped, turned, you have soap? Yes, So Fong made it. Van Han took out soap. The sisters crowded, examining curiously, how to make soap. Using oil and ash? Should be greasy, how becomes soap? Nan Nu Nok asked curiously. I know, ash is alkaline.
Lu Waimong said, repeating what So Fong explained.
I still don't get it.
Nan Ton Nok shook her head.
Anyway, oil plus ash water makes soap. Lu Waimong smiled. Let me wash, I am good at this. Nan Nu Nok sat down, used straw with soap to scrub. Hey, Nu Nok, here is cloth.
Van Han gave her a piece of cloth, use this, cleaner.
Nan Nu Nok looked, asked, this also woven by you? So great.
She touched Van Han's cloth clothes, then looked at her own jacket, hot in summer.
Is there anything you cannot do?
Nan Ton Nok sighed, determination firming.
Hee, this is nothing, at our camp we even have powerful pets. Lu Waimong said mysteriously. That is for you to decide. So Fong smiled.
Nan Ton Nok looked into So Fong's eyes, nodded slowly, we do not have much, today we will go with you.
So Fong froze, smile stiff, then asked, you mean?
I want to cooperate, condition is top 3, I need money for my sister's treatment. Nan Ton Nok said seriously.
Hope for happy cooperation. She reached to hold his hand, second time, yet feelings different. Sister, we move again? Nan Nu Nok surprised, just finishing dishwashing. Yes, I will pack. Nantan Nak gently said, turning back inside. Chapter 698, Not a Romantic Relationship? The Lu sisters glanced at each other, agreeing just like that? I thought you would need more time to consider.
Lu Wai Thursday pursed her lips and whispered. Lu Wai Meng shrugged and guessed, maybe something moved her. In the hiding place, Nantan Nak was packing things into the vine bag. Tap tap tap.
Nan Nu Nak came over, casually half-closing the gate, and asked suspiciously, Sister, why did you suddenly decide? It is not sudden, I thought deeply before deciding.
Nantan Nak stood up, held her sister's hand and said, Our goal is to win the competition, enter the top 3, and cooperation increases the chance.
But does that not count as depending on others? Nan Nu Nak worried. This is cooperation, though we lose initiative, if we win it does not matter. All right then. Nan Nu Nak nodded lightly.
Rest assured, your sister's judgment is sharp, they are not bad people. Nantan Nak patted her sister's head.
Let me help pack. Nan Nu Nak agreed, dimples showing as she crouched to assist.
Nearly 20 minutes later, the Nan sisters carried vine bags and wooden buckets.
All packed? Sua Fong stood up and asked softly. Yes, the rest is unimportant. Nantan Nak nodded. Then let's go.
Sua Fong slung a bamboo basket, naturally took the girl's hand, and led downstream.
Ah, really?
Nan Nu Nak looked at Sua Fong holding the girl's hand, puzzled, glancing at her sister.
Ask her? Nantan Nak also felt odd. Was Sua Fong not paired with Lu Wai Meng? Nan Nu Nak leaned toward Lu Wai Meng, shyly whispered, Cough, Sister Wai Meng, may I ask a private question? Private question? Go ahead. Lu Wai Meng replied. You and Sua Fong are not lovers? Why is he holding Van Han's hand? Nan Nu Nak asked curiously. Ah? Really not? Nan Nu Nak exclaimed.
Lu Wai Meng glanced at those ahead, sighed helplessly, Of course not, we are just close friends, do not guess. Nan Nu Nak muttered, But every time someone mentions Sua Fong, you smile proudly.
Lu Wai Meng paused, eyes flickered, explained, Really? No, you misunderstood. What a pity, Sua Fong is so outstanding. Nantan Nak sighed.
Van Han is also excellent, and she is truly his childhood companion. Lu Wai Meng bit her lip, then smiled, They grew up together in the orphanage, their bond is strong, that is enough to know.
Got it. Nan Nu Nak gestured, zipping her mouth. Smart girl.
Lu Wai Meng breathed out.
Interesting. Sua Fong muttered. What did you say? Van Han asked curiously. Nothing, just thinking what to eat tonight. Sua Fong laughed.
Van Han smiled, shook his hand, and said softly, I already decided, dumplings tonight.
Yes, me too, but not strange ones this time, or we might scare them.
Sua Fong pinched the lively girl.
Understood. Van Han giggled. Nearly 3 hours later, a barricade appeared ahead. Is that your camp?
Nan Nu Nak widened her eyes, even seeing a wooden house behind, quite large.
Yes.
Lu Wai Meng nodded proudly.
You built it yourselves?
Nantan Nak was amazed, such a shelter must take at least a month.
Creak creak. A black shadow shot up from the camp, diving at Sua Fong. Nan Nu Nak panicked, hiding behind her sister. What is that?
Nantan Nak turned pale, hurriedly drew her bow.
Clearly?
Nantan Nak frowned in confusion.
Creak creak.
Clearly flew to Sua Fong, folded its wings, landed on his arm, rubbed its head against him.
Swish. Clearly spread wings again, circling above the camp. Clearly a bald sea eagle? Your pet? Nantan Nak swallowed. Yes, it once stole a rabbit, then was caught by Sua Fong. Lu Wai Meng explained. Amazing.
The sisters exclaimed.
Lu Meng smiled mysteriously. We also have Ma Chou and Godan, you will see later, though Godan often roams away. Hee, Godan is actually Suo Fong's childhood nickname. Lu Meng lowered her voice. Ah? Really? Nan Nu Nok was intrigued. Of course, Van Han told me secretly, and also said. Lu Meng was about to continue when someone in front could not resist. Cough. Suo Fong twitched his lips, turned back. Lu Meng, what are you saying? Nothing. Lu Meng looked guilty, eyes dodging. He can hear this? Nan Ton Nok was shocked, even at 3 to 4 meters distance, such whispers were clear? Chapter 699, Rushing into Romance? We are here, this is where you will live from now on. So Fong pushed the big gate and led the girl inside. Nan Ton Nok stopped overthinking, carrying doubt and curiosity, she pulled her sister along. Wow, it is really spacious. Nan Nu Nok exclaimed softly. Nan Ton Nok stared for a long while, doubting her own eyes. There was even a swimming pool in the camp. Put your things down first, are you not tired? Van Han waved her hand before Nan Ton Nok. Ah, all right. Nan Ton Nok came to herself, set down the vine pack, and followed the girl to look around. This is the cellar, inside we store bread roots and taro, that is the pool, and over there is the vegetable garden. Van Han introduced while pointing. You even dug a cellar. Nan Ton Nok was surprised. Van Han nodded and explained. Yes, So Fong said wild fruits and vegetables keep for a long time in a cellar. What is that? Nan Nu Nok pointed at the big cage. That was prepared for a bird, but it seems it did not like it. Van Han answered casually. She let go of her sister, hurried to the rabbit hutch, crouched, and teased the wild rabbit through the bars. Yes, there are pheasants and a fawn as well. Van Han pointed at the pheasant in the cage and the fawn strolling around. These rabbits are so plump, do you not eat them? Nan Ton Nok asked in surprise. Nan Ton Nok's lips curved bitterly, the gap in living quality was truly unusual. All right, you just arrived, take your time to look around, I will need the dough, we will have dumplings tonight. Van Han smiled and went upstairs. Dumplings. The Nan sisters glanced at each other, expectation rising in their eyes. Are these made of cement? Nan Ton Nok touched the ground by the pool, still unsure. From under the stilt house came Nan Nu Nok's voice. Sister, there is a very big bathtub here. Nu Nok, Ton Nok, what are you doing? Come up now. Lu Meng leaned at the window and called. Coming. Nan Nu Nok answered innocently. Nan Ton Nok drew a deep breath, cast a lingering look at the tub, and whispered. Let us go, up to the wooden house. Okay. Nan Nu Nok sniffed her clothes, looked back at the tub, then went upstairs reluctantly. Creak. The door opened, and the sisters entered with their belongings. Leave things on the wooden shelf, we will tidy later. Lu Meng said, then took out 2 new porcelain bowls with a smile. Would you like some hot tea? I just brewed it. Do not be nervous, make yourselves at home. So Fong carried the hot tea and spoke gently. Yes. Nan Ton Nok answered softly, yet she could not truly relax. She glanced around the cabin, from the big bed to the screen, then the stove, the cement floor, the table, and even a toilet. There is even a toilet. Her eyes lit up. Yes, it is great, right? Lu Meng grinned. Aha! Nan Ton Nok entered the toilet, there was no bad smell as imagined, instead a faint mint scent lingered. She looked down at the wall shelf where a porcelain bowl held several dark green balls the size of eggs. What is this? She asked curiously. This is an herbal fragrance that So Fong made. Lu Meng explained. Mint leaves were crushed for oil, mixed with charcoal powder, then rolled into balls. There is truly nothing that So Fong cannot do. Nan Ton Nok sighed with feeling.
Who goes wilderness surviving yet digs a swimming pool and keeps pets? Who else masters so many skills? In the observation room, Min and the others happened to be watching So Fong's live feed. I did not expect the Nan sisters to cooperate with So Fong, beyond my prediction. Min folded his arms and sighed. Only 6 teams remain, while So Fong already has 3 allied teams. It seems others have little chance.
Vong Lam also sighed. NK Books.
Min shook his head slightly. Unless the True Brothers and Tran Chi Hai cooperate again and pull in Lam Kwok's group, there is still some chance to contend. The True Brothers already fell out with Tran Chi Hai. How could they cooperate again?
Vong Lam doubted Tran Chi Hai had such magnanimity.
Indeed impossible, the two sides have basically broken off. Min shook his head with a wry smile.
Teacher Ha said it, even if they cooperate again, they only have a sliver of chance to win. No Tan Noyet chirped. Ha ha ha.
Min laughed heartily, comments that sway opinion are better kept short.
That ends up benefiting So Fong. No Tan Noyet muttered.
Why do you say that?
Min asked curiously.
The Nan sisters joined, now he has 2 more beauties at his side. It looks like a screen full of fair ladies.
No Tan Noyet pointed at the monitor and teased.
Min's mouth twitched, he could not deny he was envious.
Inside the cabin, Nan Nu Nok spotted Mao Ka sleeping on the beam. That is Mao Ka.
Lu Waimong stood on tiptoe to lift it down, but was just a bit short. Ka Dan is a squirrel, probably busy rushing into romance outside. It returns only every few days.
Lu Waimong pouted, showing helplessness. Chapter 700, The Perfect Man. You will see.
Van Han carried the clay bowl from the wooden shelf, taking out fine flour to make dumplings and buns.
Nan Nu Nok curiously asked, "Is this wheat flour?" Van Han shook her head and answered innocently, "No, it is Indian canna powder." "Then let me help you." Nan Nu Nok eagerly rolled up her sleeves. "All right, but first you must wash your hands." Van Han handed her a bar of soap from the bamboo basket. "Okay." Nan Nu Nok took the soap and went downstairs. "Do you need me to do something?" Nan Ton Nok nervously rubbed her hands, unsure what to do.
So Fong thought and smiled, "Today just rest well, in fact there is nothing much to do."
"All right then."
Nan Ton Nok opened her mouth, finally saying only 2 words helplessly.
So Fong drank hot tea, then took the axe and went downstairs.
He entered the warehouse, picked some logs and brought them to the yard, planning to build a big bed, otherwise the Nan sisters would sleep on the floor tonight. He looked at the sky, less than 1 hour before dark. Lu Waimong came down with the saw, excitedly saying, "So Fong, let me help you." "Good, first cut the bed legs."
So Fong smiled. "Leave it to me."
Lu Waimong patted her chest, put the log on the rack, stepped on it to hold, then sawed it.
"Be careful." So Fong reminded. "I know." Lu Waimong replied. Soon Nantan Nok came down, curious, "What are you doing?"
"Of course making a bed for you, otherwise tonight you would sleep on the ground."
So Fong explained. "No need to trouble so much."
Nantan Nok bit her lip, shyly said, "Sleeping on the ground is fine, flat and not damp. Not troublesome, it will be finished quickly."
So Fong said while handling bamboo. "Then I will help too."
Nantan Nok rolled up her sleeves and came over.
"All right."
Her cheeks flushed, she squatted to hold the shaking log under Lu Waimong's feet. The 3 worked in the yard, time passed, the sun sank behind the western mountain. Darkness fell, only the bed frame was done, the planks still missing.
So Fong, do not rush, come eat dinner first. Lu Wai Thursday called from the window.
He looked at the half bed and said softly to the 2 girls, "Bring it upstairs first, after dinner we continue. Then I will take the bamboo upstairs, the bed is yours."
Lu Waimong carried the bamboo and went upstairs. "I will help, it is heavy."
Nantan Nok softly said, "The bed frame weighed more than 100 pounds, one person would struggle.
No need, just carry the tools upstairs. So Fong said gently, then easily lifted the bed frame and went upstairs. Such strength.
Nan Ton Nok slightly opened her lips, hurriedly carrying the axe, and saw behind him. Inside the wooden house, So Fong placed the frame by the wall, leaving space.
Sit down, we can eat now. Nan Nu Nok set the table. Okay.
Lu Wai Mong clapped her hands and sat.
Van Han placed dumplings on the wooden table, coughed softly and smiled. Ahem, Sister Mon, did you forget something? Ah, I must wash my hands. Lu Wai Mong said seriously, then quickly went downstairs. So Fong chuckled and followed. Nan Ton Nok looked at her dirty hands, silently went down too.
Soon they all sat around the wooden table, before them shiny dumplings and hot soup.
So good. Nan Nu Nok boldly picked one dumpling, looking at the shiny skin.
She hesitated, then put it in her mouth. The skin broke, an aroma with meat flavor filled her mouth.
Nan Nu Nok covered her mouth and exclaimed, "So tasty, my first time eating dumplings this good. Why so delicious?"
Nan Ton Nok could not help asking.
Hee, here's So Fong and Van Han cook the best.
Lu Wai Mong praised.
Van Han smiled, do not underestimate So Fong, he cooks even better. Really?
Nan Ton Nok looked at So Fong in surprise, hard to believe such a perfect man would cook.
Of course, you will taste someday. Lu Wai Mong added. Van Han nodded, yes, you will. Alright, tomorrow breakfast I will cook.
So Fong laughed, surrounded by two girls.
Then it is settled. Van Han laughed.
So Fong gently stroked her head, you just say directly what you want to eat, I will make all.
Ahem, if dumplings do not fill, even dog food can.
Lu Wai Mong wrinkled her nose, teasing. Van Han blushed, quickly changed topic, try this, cake with wild vegetables and crocodile meat. The Nan sisters glanced at each other, both saw joy in their eyes, life here felt comfortable. During dinner, they shared
NK
simple
books.
stories about their time on the island. So there was already an observer. Nan Ton Nok nodded, no wonder So Fong knew how many contestants remained.
Not only observer, even TV sent people to film a documentary. Van Han added. Lu Wai Thursday stood to clean dishes, preparing to wash. Let us help.
The Nan sisters stood up together, clearing the table.
Good. Lu Wai Thursday did not refuse, like natural cooperation, just like she used to do with her sister.